Hello and welcome back. Let's take a look at 13.7, division of polynomials. So when you're dividing a polynomial by a monomial, so remember a polynomial is something that has more than one term, okay? So multiple terms by a monomial, which is just a single term. We want to keep in mind that anytime we do this, we're going to be dividing, and so we can use these rules that we had with division. So if you have a fraction, a plus b over c, you can separate it. You can put the a over the c, and then you put the plus sign, and you can put the b over the c. And same thing goes with subtraction. If you have a minus b over c, you can go a over c, and then minus the b over the c. So let's see how that works on the following examples. So notice on the first example, we have multiple terms. We have one term, let's see, two terms, three terms divided by a single term. So the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite this. I'm going to do the first term, 4b squared, and then over the denominator 4. And then there was a plus sign in here, so I'm going to say plus. And then I have 16b. And then I divide that by 4. Then I have a minus sign, so minus, and then I have a 12 up there and divide by 4. So now I can just simplify these. So I can cancel those 4's, which leaves me with just b squared. 16 divided by 4 is 4, so I go plus 4b. And then 12 divided by 4 is 3. So now we have divided a polynomial by a monomial. Here's another example. We have 35x to the 5th plus 14x cubed divided by 7x squared. So I'm going to write that as divided by 7x squared. So again, I will rewrite this as the 35x to the 5th over 7x squared. And then there's a plus sign there. So plus 14x cubed over 7x squared. Now, simplifying, the numbers are pretty easy. We got 35 divided by 7, that's 5. But then we also have x to the 5th over x squared, and we've seen that before. We're just going to wind up subtracting the exponents. So you take the 5, you subtract the 2, you get 3. So we have x to the 3rd. Okay, plus, all right, we got 14 divided by 7, that's 2. And then x to the 3rd over x squared, again you subtract, and 3 minus 2 is 1, so you're just going to get x to the first power there. So I'm just going to put x. There we go. Okay, let's look at this next one. We have 20n cubed over 10n squared. Let's see, hold on, just got a text message. Take care of this real quick. Okay. Plus 5n squared over 10n squared, and then minus 7n over 10n squared, and then finally plus 15 over 10n squared. Okay, let's take a look at this first one. 20 divided by 10, that gives me 2. And then n cubed over n squared, we subtract, and we get n to the first power. Plus, okay, 5 divided by 10, that is, you can't divide 10 into 5, but you can reduce the fraction to become 1/2. And then the n squareds, they cancel out completely, and you're just left with that 1/2. Then minus, okay, 7 over 10, we cannot do anything to that, so we're just going to leave it as 7 over 10. And then n over n squared, that's really like n to the first over n to the 2. That's going to give you n to the 1 minus 2, which is equal to n to the negative 1. And we remember that raising to a negative power really means dropping it down and making it positive. So I can really rewrite this second piece as 1 over n. And then plus over here we get 15 over 10 can't go in evenly, but we can reduce. 5 goes into the top 3 times 5 goes in the bottom 2. And then we have this n squared here on the bottom with really, you could look at it like a 1 up here. So that's 1 times n squared. And maybe one last thing you could do is put these two together, multiply straight across, you get 7 over 10n. And then put these two together, multiply straight across, you should get 3 over 2n squared. So plus, minus, 1/2 in front, plus, and then 2n. So that is our division. Okay, here's some more examples. So negative 3y cubed plus 12y minus 6 over negative 3. So we'll split this up. Negative 3y cubed over negative 3 plus 12y over negative 3 minus 6 over negative 3. All right, we're just going to have to be careful with our signs here. Negative over negative here, that's positive 1, so I won't write down the 1, but I still have a y cubed. Okay, 12 over negative 3 is negative 4, so this can change this to a minus 4, and then we still have a y. And then be careful here, because if 6 divided by negative 3, that's negative 2, but you still want to subtract it. So you're really doing like minus negative 2, and that's plus 2. All right, so that's that one. Okay, this next one, this is really 7q to the 4th plus 5q squared all over q, which becomes 7q to the 4th over q plus 5q squared over q. And this becomes, let's see, we have a 7 here, nothing happens there, but q to the 4th over q to the 1st is q cubed. Plus the 5 still there, and then q squared over q, you should just get q. Okay, we have one more. So in this one, we have 2y cubed over 2y squared minus 2y squared over 2y squared plus 3y over 2y squared minus 9 over 2y squared. All right, I see here on this first one, the 2's cancel, and you get y cubed over y squared, that's just y. These 2's cancel, you have minus here, and the y squareds cancel. You have to be real careful here. It doesn't just completely go away, you get a 1 here. Because really you're doing like, 2y squared by exactly itself, and anything divided by itself is 1. So we have a 1 there, plus. Okay, can't do anything with the 3 over 2, so 3 over 2. And then when we do y over y squared, we're going to wind up with a 1 over y. And I'm going to put that together with this 3/2, which makes it a 3 over 2y. Okay, sorry about that, I had a phone call. Okay, where were we? Yeah, so now we still have to take care of this one here. So we have minus, and then 9 over 2, can't do anything with. And also that y squared's by itself on the bottom. There's like a 1 on top, can't do anything with that, so we'll just slap that y squared back on the bottom. There you go. This is our division of a polynomial by a monomial. And that is it for this section.